Hi there, and welcome back to the channel. If you're anything like me, you've often wondered about the origin of everyday products. For example, who invented aluminum foil, and how can I thank them for saving me hours of scrubbing dishes thanks to foil-lined baking trays, electric burner liners, and BBQs? But going deeper into this rabbit hole reveals something else interesting. Many of the products we use all the time were invented for entirely different intentions. Join me as I explore 10 products intended for altogether different purposes. Before I start, don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you never miss a top 10 video. Number 10. Bubble wrap. Popping bubble wrap of any size and quantity is a guilty pleasure that most people find satisfaction with. But it wasn't originally designed to protect your valuables, provide entertainment, or ASMR. Bubble wrap was invented in 1957 by two engineers in New Jersey. They found that they created a random assembly of air bubbles by sealing two shower curtains together. They first attempted to market the product as wallpaper of all things. The market was not as eager as they were, and it failed. Next, they moved on to greenhouse insulation. Bubble wrap wasn't used as a protective device until 1961 after being branded by Sealed Air Corporation. IBM was their first client, and the product has saturated the market since. Number 9. Slinky. Stabilized naval equipment. The Slinky is one of those things created by accident. A mechanical engineer was trying to solve a problem on Navy ships, how to keep sensitive ship equipment steady during rough weather. He accidentally knocked some of his samples off a shelf and was amazed to see them walk down instead of falling. His wife helped him turn this mishap into a novelty toy. The Slinky got its moment in the spotlight when a Philadelphia Gimbals department store allowed a demonstration for Christmas. Hundreds sold in minutes. By the start of the millennium, 250 million Slinkies had been sold, turning a clumsy moment in the office into a children's phenomenon. Number 8. Frisbees. Frisbees were a California invention. A young couple tossed a popcorn can lid around after a Thanksgiving dinner back in 1937. They repeated the experience on a beach near Los Angeles, California, with a cake pan. While tossing the cake pan back and forth, they were offered 25 cents for the toy. A business opportunity presented itself. The cake pans only cost a nickel at the time, and if beachgoers were willing to pay 5 times that for a bit of fun, why not start up a lucrative business? The couple continued to sell the product until the young man, Walter, served during World War II. After the war, the design was updated for an aerodynamically improved disc. Number 7. Kotex sanitary products. Kotex sanitary products were a game changer for menstruating women everywhere. But it was thanks to World War I that these products made it into the hands of civilian women. A newly invented product called cellucotton was made from wood pulp fiber. It was used in bandages, highly favored for its absorption qualities. Trying to make use of this leftover cellucotton, sanitary towels were made. One employee noted that the pads had a cotton-like texture, which was shortened to Kotex, which finally became the brand Kotex. When the product was launched, women's periods were still considered something to be hidden and not discussed. So it took some time, strategic marketing campaigns, and partnerships with women's magazines like Good Housekeeping to get the information out there. Kotex became one of the first self-service sanitary products and paved the way for the many options available to women today. Number 6. Post-it notes. A scientist at 3M was part of a team working to develop increasingly strong adhesives. But what Dr. Spencer Silver discovered instead was an adhesive that did none of the things he wanted. The sticky substance lightly clung to surfaces but did not bond with them. Instead, he'd developed microspheres that stayed sticky but had a removable characteristic. It wasn't what 3M was looking for, and Silver spent years trying to find a use for the product. Finally, a fellow 3M scientist, Art Fry, realized that the substance could solve his problem. Using scraps of paper as bookmarks failed when they fell out of the book. Not only did their invention solve the problem, but they used the sticky paper to write messages and communicate around the office. And the full potential of the Post-it note was born. Number 5. Play-Doh. Today, we know Play-Doh as a modeling compound for children. And if you played with it as a child, I'll bet you can smell it now at the mere mention of the putty-like product. But it wasn't always a children's plaything. It was initially developed by a soap manufacturer as a way to clean wallpaper. Anyone with wallpaper near a fireplace was plagued with soot clinging to its surface. But after World War II, the transition from coal-based home heating to natural gas decreased the problem and the need for a solution. Play-Doh might be the original at-home toy hack. A newspaper article showed how to do art projects with wallpaper cleaning putty. A nursery school teacher in the same family as inventor Noah McVicker tried it with her students with great success. Play-Doh was born. More than 2 billion cans were sold in 50 years and could be found in 75 countries. Number 4. Viagra. In 1989, a pair of British Pfizer scientists created a drug called sildenafil citrate. Its purpose: treat high blood pressure and angina, chest pain linked with coronary heart disease. 2 years later, in 1991, the patent for the drug was issued. For the first few years, trials focused on the medicine gave little hope that it would work as it intended. But several study participants reported an interesting side effect. Men reported increased erections several days after taking a dose of sildenafil citrate. Concurrent research was illuminating the biological process of erections and how this new drug might help allow additional blood flow to the penis. The FDA approved the use of the drug to treat erectile dysfunction in 1998, and the little blue pill was born. Number 3. Listerine. Next time you rinse your mouth with mouthwash, thank surgeons for your fresh breath. English doctor Joseph Lister showed in 1865 that using antiseptics during surgery and on surgical dressings would significantly reduce the rates of infections post-surgery. The name is clearly inspired by Dr. Lister himself. 30 years later, the product entered the oral healthcare arena. It later became the first over-the-counter mouthwash sold in the United States in the early 1900s. The product was sold in glass bottles for over 100 years before transitioning to the plastic cartons that we know so well today. Listerine has been used by more than 1 billion people globally. Number 2. Microwave. Microwave ovens have offered convenient heating solutions for consumers since the 1960s and were discovered quite by accident. Although the energy of microwaves was not new, their power around food wasn't discovered until American engineer Percy Spencer. Spencer worked for Raytheon and was working on powered radar. While conducting his work, he noticed that a chocolate bar in his pocket was melting. Intrigued, he wondered what other effects the microwave would have on foods. He was smart, or lucky enough to try popcorn next. It popped right away. Then he exploded an egg. After some messy but intriguing results, he added an electromagnetic field generator in an enclosed metal box. This allowed him to experiment with heating foods with microwaves in controlled and safe environments. The first microwave oven was born. Microwave cooking was patented in 1945, and the first commercially available microwave cost $5,000, which, by today's standards, is north of $50,000. Over time, as technology improved and the relative size of the equipment was reduced, the price also came down. By 1997, it was estimated that over 90% of American households owned a microwave. Number 1. Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is one of the most recognizable name brands in the world. We've learned a lot about the power this carbonated beverage packs. It can tenderize meat, and its acidic properties may help kill a wide range of bacteria and microorganisms. But the most startling use might be its original purpose. A Confederate colonel, John Pemberton, was wounded during the Civil War and became addicted to morphine. He also had a medical degree and wanted to find a way to remove his addiction. Pemberton made a tonic that contained cocaine from coca leaves and caffeine extracts from the cola nut. Because the beverage had no alcohol, it appealed to customers during the temperance movement. It was an energy-boosting alternative to alcohol, which some looked down upon ahead of the Prohibition movement. Coca-Cola used to contain around 9 milligrams of cocaine per glass. A typical line of cocaine is at least 50 milligrams. So while it wasn't a full dose, it was certainly not an insignificant amount. Cocaine was removed from the drink's formula in 1903. Coca-Cola still uses coca leaf extract, but it's cocaine-free. The extracted cocaine is sold to the only company in the US licensed to purify the product for medicinal purposes. What product from today's list has the most surprising background? Are there any favorite products you use that have a unique history? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it. Until next time.